Ukraine had officially finally signed the mineral deal. But now, Luke, you're telling me that Ukraine has again backed out? Where is that story? I couldn't find that reported.
Hold on. I just had it pulled up. I'm going to try to find it right now. This is it. Financial Times. U.S.-Ukraine mineral deal hits last-minute hurdle. I sent you the article right now. And
well, this was when was this published? Let's see.
This was published today.
Okay. I can't read it. Hold on. Let me see if there's an archive.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you bring me up to date? What is the last minute hurdle now?
So now there was supposed to be a representative from Ukraine flying to the United States, and now her flight has been delayed because the United States wants them to sign a second document and a third document for this deal to go through, not just the preliminary one. And the Ukrainians are saying, no, we need approval from our cabinet and their Congress in order to approve the second and third part of this deal. And they haven't approved it as they're already involved in marathon negotiations over this. So they thought they were signing the preliminary deal. Trump wanted them to sign all of the
Trump
deal.
probably said, get the deal done. Let's get this done. We're not doing any more of this temporary ceasefire, temporary deal, or whatever the case is.
It's facing a last-minute hurdle. And they're working to allegedly finalize the agreement, but Ukraine pulled out here saying, no, we haven't agreed to the second and third part of this, and this needs to be approved by our government in order to kind of move forward.
The deal they had been due to sign after marathon negotiations, which was seen by the Financial Times and the U.S. and Ukraine through development of Kiev's natural resources and the creation of a joint investment fund, would seek to create conditions necessary to increase investment. This came after Kiev secured a significant concession from the Trump administration that only future military aid would count as U.S. contribution to the deal. But problems arose as Sven Dorenko's, who don't give a shit, planes headed to Washington, and Besson team told her she should be ready to sign all agreements or go back home. Well, she hasn't gone back home yet, right? So maybe they can still get this done. I do agree that Trump needs to they need to get this done with. Zelensky's been dragging his feet on this, for months now. And the ceasefire ends in what? 2 days? One day?
I don't think there is a ceasefire. I think Putin is proposing a 3-day ceasefire.
This is 42 minutes ago. So Ukraine, for at least the 10th time, agreed to Trump's mineral deal over the weekend. Then last minute, they decided to make changes. Secretary Besson said they're willing to sign the original deal as it stood last weekend.
Yeah. And it's a 50-50 investment, and Ukraine's going to be making money out of this too. And for some reason, there's still more hiccups here.
Just let Russia take them over. How much more do we have to do? How much more do we have to do? I just can't. This is where is this? President Trump is the only man on the planet that can broker the peace deal. I don't know. I'm starting to think he can't.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they want it. Let's see what this clip says.
Well, this is the peace president. You didn't see wars happening when President Trump was president the first time. Then, of course, you saw America disrespected around the world, including Vladimir Putin moving into Ukraine. And so President Trump quite literally is the only person on the planet, the United States of America is the only country on the planet that can broker this kind of peace. And that's the focus. The truth is, this is a meat grinder right now in Ukraine, and it needs to come to an end. The United States has more pressing needs, taking on China, defending the homeland, and it's time for our European allies to play a much more meaningful role in their own defense in Europe. However, the United States plays an important role, and President Trump specifically, in bringing a lasting peace. That's what they're working on. So both parties need to be working towards that as well. Well, this is the peace president. You didn't see.
I mean, how does this end? How does this end in reality? He's gonna sign, right? I think the EU is getting involved, and they're telling him not to sign. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of parties involved here, and it sounds like a very fair deal. It sounds like It's going to be, mutually invested, mutual equity, and this is going to help Ukraine pay for a lot of the money that they're indebted to.
Right.
And this is going to help Ukraine significantly. So the Ukrainians kind of playing hardball here, saying, "Yeah, we're not going to sign the second document, and the third document here is, something that, of course, will drive a wedge between them." And Donald Trump's already threatening to walk away from the negotiations table. And I think once that happens, it's going to be just a full all-out war that's going to escalate to even grander proportions than it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ukrainians are trying to, of course, mass produce as many drones as they can inside of their own country, but that's not going to be the main kind of deterrent factor here, specifically with the Russians having their own drones and their own kind of manufacturing base that they just established with Iran.
Right.
So this is not looking good for the Ukrainians here, as Trump wants them to sign the package deal. They're saying we're only going to sign one. Trump's like, just sign both of them. Let's just get this done. Let's just move forward here. But this also would provide, of course, a lot of security protections from the Ukrainians that would have American companies, American infrastructure being invested in inside of Ukraine, which, of course, would keep them safe for the perpetual future as well.
Well, I mean, what exactly is going on here? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, the United States just told the Ukrainian delegation not to fly to Washington unless they are ready to sign all the agreements and to have the agreement finalized. That's the reporting that we're getting.
I mean, I agree with that. I get this done, or, we're done with you. Like, I don't understand. They're jerking Trump around. They cannot win this war without
Kiev is
U.S.
saying that they're not ready yet to sign all three deals.
I say let him. Trump needs to just walk away. I think Trump won't walk away because the mineral deals is actually a net positive financially for America. But how long until this guy's replaced with somebody more willing to play ball? I'm not calling for it, but I'm just saying historically, that is not an uncommon reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Zelensky is playing with fire here? Where he would actually be outed?
I mean, Donald Trump kind of hinted at that after
Didn't he? I thought he did.
Their blow up in the White House, saying, there's going to have to be elections that happen in Ukraine. Putin has been hinting at that as well. So it's just kind of mind boggling to see this type of scenario. And I mean, the deals just need to be signed here. Donald Trump said specifically, it's a lot easier dealing with Putin than it is with Zelensky.
Yeah.
And those are Trump's own words here. So it's very sad. It's very unfortunate, since we're seeing the kind of propulsion of this conflict that I think, we could just be seeing the very beginning of. I want to see the end of this. I want to see young Slavic men, save their lives instead of losing their lives here. And, there's a lot of holdups here. It looks like both sides are negotiating very tough. It looks like both sides aren't wanting to want a deal here. And I think this is why Trump, I think 4 times already through him and his proxies and his administration, said, we're going to walk away here. So I think we're very close to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that at this point, it's like, give us some minerals, or we'll get them from Russia.
Yeah. Ukraine, for the 10th time, agreed to sign this mineral deal. And then last night, they just decided to make changes to it. That's the situation that we're dealing with right now.
I'm hoping that this person arrives and they negotiate and they get the deal done today. Trump needs a win. This Ukraine war needs to end. Israel Hamas needs to end, or we need to stop supporting it. These tariffs need to turn around a little bit. The thing is that with the tariffs, we could talk about in a separate segment. People act like China isn't getting pummeled. The Chinese manufacturing is at an all-time low right now. They're getting hurt, and they need to come to the table. Russia needs, I know if I could just fast forward 3 months, my retirement fund would be back in a better place. This Ukraine war would probably be over, but it would just be nice to get one of them. It'd be nice to get one of these idiots to come to the table and say, all right, we can stop eradicating Slavic men from the planet for a pointless war that, Zelensky was never going to win. I don't care if you're Ukrainian and that offends you. Zelensky was never winning this war.